shit. Hello, am I audible? Can you guys please confirm me in the chat? Am I audible or not? है ना? Okay, cool. ठीक है, so we'll start today's lecture in just 2 to 3 minutes. Give me just 2 to 3 minutes of time. I'll let everyone comes in because I can see there is not much people joined. Okay, so we'll start in a while. Yeah, good evening, Nilanjan, Naveen. So how are you all guys doing? Awesome, awesome. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I'm also good, Hariharan. My day was also good. So yeah, just a minute. I'm uploading today's agenda. What we have to learn. You know? बाण बंद कर दूं बाहर हाँ कर दे ओके बुला करो Yeah, good evening, Balram. From today, shall we start programming in JavaScript? Yes, exactly. Okay, Nikhil, it's salary day for you. That's great. I have uploaded today's agenda in the slides. Okay, let me know once you can see this. Yeah, Vishal, you are excited. Everyone is excited. That's great. Okay, so be curious so that we can have great sessions. All right. Unable to install MySQL Workbench, Tapasvi. Why is it so? Can you please tell me what kind of error you are facing? Or you have contacted anyone from group or TA for this? May I run programming online in Chrome? Yeah, you mean to say Chrome, like console, right? Yeah, you can. But I would prefer that please use VS Code for this. Okay. ठीक है. Okay, so it's almost 8:05. Okay, so we'll start today's thing. Okay, but before that, we'll just see what we have covered in the past. That was majorly, just a core background. Like this is your building. So if you are building if you are constructing a building, then your foundation should be so strong so that this building can survive in earthquake or any kind of natural disaster, right? So we were working on this core before, and now we will build this building. Okay, all right. So whoever the people that were from non-IT background, I hope they are clear with this foundation. If they are not, I would highly prefer that please watch recordings once again, because this is the most important thing in order to survive in this world, in this career, like IT world. I mean to say, we use all the softwares today. Not all the softwares, Dipanshu. Today also we will use, like I told you, like to install Mozilla. Have everyone got the message? That I think so today or the day before yesterday, I told someone to tell everyone to install this Mozilla. So we'll work today with this Mozilla. The Mozilla is one kind of a browser, but it provides a lot of functionality when we are working with JavaScript. Okay? So that is the reason that we chose this Mozilla for just a few sessions so that you can be comfortable. You can also work with the Chrome that we have already seen. And let me just tell you, whichever topic we are learning for today, most of them we have covered. but there are some topics which are really important that we will cover today. Yeah. So for that, Mozilla is really crucial. Okay. Our students success managed tool to install it. Yeah, we are work on Mozilla or Chrome. So we will be working, Nana. We will be working on for today. We'll working on Mozilla. Then also we will working on Chrome. You have to decide whichever is suitable for you. And for me, it's like both. It's both are suitable for me. So I'm pretty much comfortable in working in both of them. So it's up to you. You can work on any of the browser that you want. Okay. Cool. Okay. So till now we have seen these things such as we have seen the introduction first of all with the JavaScript, as well as we have also seen the programming. Okay, what is programming? Why we need that? We also seen the some introduction of Node.js. We did some operations. We did some operations in terms of JS. We will be look deep down in this, you know. And moreover to that, we'll also look some different kind of ways to initialize a variable that we're looking today, such as let or const or where that I have already informed you. So we'll look into this in detail for today. Okay. Yeah, paradigms also that will be covered in programming, different kind of programmings. We also had some session in the oops, so those who have missed everything, that is okay, but don't miss this session. Like oops is the fundamental for your entire career. This I cannot emphasize, I cannot stress upon this, that how much important is this oops concept. Okay, this will be asked in each and every interview. This is that much of important, so don't miss this. Okay. Okay. Okay, so for this, for today, what we will learning, first of all we will be learning the introduction to programming. We have seen some of the concept in the previous classes, but I need you to be strong upon this. So we'll first go upon this, then introduction to JavaScript. We'll look on this, why we use JavaScript. Then we will do some coding in my Mozilla Firefox that I told you to install it. We'll write our first program in JavaScript for today. And we'll see some functionality between like console.log that we have already looked upon. So you will be have some more idea in terms of this. So these are the topics for today. Okay. We'll also look what kind of variables are there. In the previous class, I told you that there are where, let, and const through which you can initialize a variable. We'll look into it in detail for today. Like what are the difference between in this, and in this. What are different kind of operators? What is coercion? What are the data types? What are the comments? That all we will be looking for today. Am I clear with this? Okay. Sounds good, right? When will we use VS Code? See, Vaibhav, if we want, we can also use for today. But let's just hands-on, like do some hands-on on the Mozilla Firefox and Chrome first. Then also we can know, you will realize that VS Code is pretty much easy in terms of coding in JavaScript. So we'll learn eventually all of this. Don't worry about this. Okay? So yeah, so we have some idea regarding the programming. Programming is like a set of instructions that by which you can implement everything, like almost anything. Okay, the simple task as well, like such as calculator, and complex tasks as well, such as like if you want to make a program that your rocket will be land in the moon or land in the sea. You can also implement those kind of projects. So those are the kind of the programming sessions. Okay, so it can be just as simple as like calculator app, or as complex as landing a rocket. Okay, so programming is a way to write the task in the performed by the computer. So you have to instruct the computer, you have to order computer by which your computer will be understand this. And I already told you that computer would be understanding which language. Computer will understand which language? Binary, right? Binary, correct. Good. Binary or machine level language. Okay. It's also called as low level language. Okay. It would be in the 0 and 1 form. One of the guys has asked me the question: would we have to download the Mozilla Firefox for today? Yes, you have to download it. If you haven't, please download it. Okay. Okay. So a program can be written in programming language such as any language such as C, C++, JavaScript, Python, Java. There are many languages. You can write the program in that. So these languages are called high level languages, and the machine will understand the language, which will be the binary, which will also called as low level languages. Okay. Okay. And each language has its own pros and cons. You have to decide like whichever language you are performing, whichever language you are developing. You have to decide what are the pros you have to use, and you have to make sure that the cons are fine with you. Okay. Okay. And the programming task could be as simple as, like I told you, that adding two numbers could be also the task, and the complex logic would also like help rocket land in the moon. So this kind of also complex logics you can implement with the programming. Okay. So yeah, so this were the programming, and by like there are many kind of programming languages that it's mentioned here, out of which we will be using our language, that is JavaScript. Okay. So let's go through what is JavaScript. So JavaScript is basically a programming language which will help you to write the orders or the instruction or set of the commands to the computer. That would be the more specific to the browser. Like browser could be understood. Like browser should be understood. So our main focus of the logic would be the browser. You have to make sure that browser will understand each and everything that you are writing. I'm going pretty much fast today because these concepts we have already learned, right? Okay, so I hope everyone is comfortable with this. You know, so we have already seen what is JavaScript. We already performed some lectures, some operations on that as well. So yeah, so remember that in the first lecture I told you that JavaScript previously told as ECMAScript. You know, so those story would also be come today. So please pay attention in this. Okay, so so as I told you that we have covered almost everything about of this lecture except the variables, operators, and those kind of things. But initial part we have already covered, so you have some basic idea what we are seeing right now. You know, okay. So the JavaScript was primarily used to be executed on the browser. Okay, so it was initially designed to be on focus with the browser, but later on, developers decided that why should we restrict ourselves to the browser only? So we will focus on entire system. So they have made a for something called as runtime. We already seen what is JavaScript runtime, right? So Node.js would be using the JavaScript runtime, okay, which will help to execute our JavaScript code outside of browser, on your machine that will be outside of browser. That is called as runtime. So Node.js is using that. And JavaScript is already we have seen that the single threaded, synchronous, and high level programming language. Why it is called high level programming language? We have already seen that whichever language we are understanding, like in the English language, like C, C++, JavaScript, Python, Java, in each and every languages we are writing code in our language. Like human can understand those languages. Okay, so those are the languages which are called as high level languages. If you're writing code in your binary language, then this would be called as low level languages. Okay, so this is why JavaScript we are writing the code which human will understand. That is why it is called as high level programming. Okay. Okay. Please refresh your page, Dipanshu. Okay. Okay. So single threaded means, a lot of guys is asking what is single threaded. So single threaded, that means that you can do one task at a time. That means if you want to start with A, you have to reach to B. This is your path. Then if you are starting with the A, then nobody can stop you to no, go to the till B. Nobody can intercept you in between of this. In between of this, there is no interruption. You have to complete this task A to B, then and then only you can do anything else. Okay, so in our childhood, our parents, my parents told me to speak or to write the tables at least once, like 1 to 20 later, at least once, like tables at least once. Okay, then and then only I can able to sleep. If I am not writing this, I am not allowed to sleep. Okay, these were the rules in my house from for me, for my brother as well. Okay, so this is something called a single threaded. You have to complete this. If you are not, you cannot do anything else. Okay, and at a time you can do any like one task only. So this is called a single threaded. If you are working with multi-threaded, then you have a multi-thread. So suppose if you have this much of task, like you have to start from A, start like end from B. in between of this you will divide your path into some chunks. Okay, so multiple chunks. You will allocate these chunks to every core. Like if you have heard about the multi cores, 4 cores, 8 cores, quad cores. Okay, so each process would assign to different cores so that your task could be completed faster. We will look into this in detail. Don't go into this multi-thread concept. Just first understand what is single thread. Okay. Ranjit, we can also make some kind of tweaks in JavaScript so that this drawbacks can be overcome. So we'll look into it. We can don't go in that part. At the time, only one task could be executed. Yeah, great. Yeah, it is synchronous, but through some operations we can make it asynchronous as well. Okay, we'll look into it. Do we have different approach for learning JS in BD or no? JavaScript is simple. Is it's the same in full stack and backend. If you are opting for full stack, then you will also learn React and front end things, some front end thing. But otherwise, it would be same. Okay. What is synchronous? We'll look into it. Don't go in that part, Vishal. Okay. Okay. Cool. Okay. So see what I have already mentioned. What is single threaded? That means like let's read this so that you can also understand better. Okay, the single threaded means that the JavaScript program cannot be broken into sub programs. Remember, I told you that if you cannot no, you cannot divide your this path into chunks. You have to complete this. But in case of multi-thread, you will divide your path into some chunks. Each chunk would be assigned to different kind of cores so that your path would be execute faster. Okay, and execute sub programs parallelly. This would not be allowed in single threaded. You know? Understand the entire program as rope and sub programs as a thread of the rope. Cool. Okay. Synchronous means the order of the execution will always happen sequentially. That means let me just tell you what is synchronous, since it's mentioned here, but it's not required. Huh? So what the synchronous means that if I will tell you that you have to climb this ladder. Okay, this is a ladder. You have to climb that. So how will you climb it? Either you will jump like either you will climb your first ladder, then second, and then third, then fourth, then fifth, then sixth. Is it possible that you will climb the ladder by this is the first step, you will go first step to the directly to the last step? This is not possible, right? You have to go sequentially. This is something known as sequentially, like a synchronous operation. And what is asynchronous? Asynchronous, that means you have to wait for something, then and then only you can move further. This is known as asynchronous. And the asset we will use this async and await thing. That will be in the advanced concept. That will be covered in just 2 or 3 sessions away. These are the 2 or 3 sessions away. So please hold on that. Who and how the chunks will divide? This will be Dipanshu. The chunks will be divided by our system or OS. Operating system would do this. Okay. How it is divided? That is depend on the algorithm. There are many algorithms to do that. Okay, will not go in that. This is a part of OS. Nikhil, what does this mean? Like opposite is possible. What does this mean? Jumping from up to down. You mean to say like starting from here and ending from here? That is what you mean. But see, if you start from here, if you just start from here, Nikhil. So this is also cannot be possible that if I'll tell you that this is your first step, ठीक है, मान लो this is your first step, ठीक है, but यहाँ से आप यहाँ तो नहीं जा सकते ना directly. Similarly, आप इधर यहाँ पे अगर ये आपका first step तो यहाँ से आप यहाँ नहीं जा सकते. That there are some process that is mentioned, right? If I tell you this is your first step, this is second, this is third, fourth, fifth, and sixth, you have to execute on this order only. You cannot jump from this to this. This is what I mean. This is something known as the synchronous thing. Okay, Navneet, what I'm telling you, suppose मान लो कि if you are learning maths, okay, I'm giving another example. You are learning maths. So in your first standard, you are learning what is addition, what is subtraction, you will solve some kind of basic examples. You will do many kind of problems, so you will be pro in this. So in second standard, you will learn what is multiplication, what is division, and in all that part. In the third standard, similarly, you will learn many advanced things. So you have started from this, ending from this. Directly, you cannot learn from the third standard. You have to complete your first, you have to complete your second, then and then only you will understand and grasp the concept of the third standard. That is what I mean. Okay. So this process, that like this is something is like following a process, right? That after first standard, you have to complete the second, you have to complete the third. Directly, you cannot take admission on third. They will ask you the like passing grading certificate of the second standard. Okay. So this is what JavaScript also following. They'll not jump into the task in between. Okay. So this what synchronous means. Let's first understand what is synchronous. Okay. Synchronous means that the order of execution of tasks will always happen sequentially. It will not go here and there. The program can't skip some line of code. Remember, I told you that you cannot jump from first to fourth. You know, you cannot skip some lines of code and come back to it later. Okay. Okay, so you have to complete that. So we can perform this asynchronous, like asynchronous task also we can do, as I have mentioned that we have this kind of async and await operation. This is the async and await operation through which you can also achieve the asynchronous thing. What is asynchronous, we'll look into it. You know what is async and await, we'll also look into it, don't worry. Okay, but for now just understand that JavaScript is a synchronous language and that's a single threaded, and it's a high level language program. Why? Because human can understand that, like human readable code is that. So if I write 0 1 0 1 1 1 0, you cannot read this. But if I write that function a, or like where a equals to 2, you can read this. Okay, this you cannot. So this is like machine level code or low level language code. This is a high level language code because you can read this, humans can read this. Okay, so every programming language that you have heard upon, like C, C++, Python, Java, Ruby on Rails, those all are the high level programs, high level programming language. Okay, Sakib, don't go into this await part. We'll see. If you want to make your JavaScript code asynchronous, since it's a synchronous, you have to make this asynchronous. Then async and await is used. What kind of async and await keywords are that? What is that use case? We'll look into it. Okay, Sakib, I think am I okay with this? You know? Is there any difference between sequential and synchronous? No. See, what does synchronous means and what does sequential means? Good question. Sequential, like synchronous means, sorry, first let's understand the sequential. Sequential means that you have to perform your task in a fashion that is given in your program. Suppose let's understand the function first. Today also we'll see the what kind of function, what is function and how you can write the function. For now, just understand that suppose if you have written the program such as this, like where a equals to 2, here you have called a function. Since you have not know what is function, you will not relate with this, but for now just understand this is a function, you know, and this is the your functions call. This is your functions body, you know, and after that you will do like console.log a, you know. So how does your program will execute? Your program will first come into this line. It will declare a equals to 2, a equals to 2. Then it will call your function. Then it will call your console.log. So it's mean that its line of code is sequential. But what is synchronous? Synchronous, that means suppose man look, instead of this function you are making a API call here. Okay, so depend on this call you have to do something else, some other operations. Okay, so first you have to complete this operation of this API call, then and then only you can move further. This is an example of synchronous. Since you don't know what is API, what is function, don't confuse others. Okay, we'll look into it. Okay, C, C++ are middle level language. They are high level language. Like it's also called as middle level, but it's not a low level language. Okay? What does I mean? That if it's written in binary code, then it's low. It's called as low level language. Otherwise, it's called as high level or middle level language. Okay? Synchronous means doing all tasks at different time. Yes. Sequential means task at one by one. Perfect. Perfect. This is a perfect definition of Liquid. You have got it. Okay? Thread is actually a direction of execution. Deepa, what is thread? What is thread? Did I explain that? I just explained about the single thread. Okay, single thread. So thread means one kind of a process, like one kind of a pipeline. You know? So if you have a multi-core, then you can execute, like this is a 4 core, then you can execute 4 cores at a time. ठीक है. So ये thumb rule है computer programming का. This is a thumb rule that no task, no process can be executed like twice at a once. Like if you have a processor, then no two processes can be executed at a time. It should have multi cores in order to execute your multi process, like multi thread applications. Okay, so for example, this is my, like, you cannot see my entire screen, but for an example, I'm sharing my screen. Okay, you can see my screen now, right? Now, so see, this is the processes that is mentioned here, such as, okay, these are the processes that is mentioned here. So my laptop is pretty much powerful. It has lots of core, like it's i7 8th generation of processor I have right now. I also have Mac. Okay, so over there also there can be like multi process I can do. Okay, but for now I'm using this Windows machine. In that I have many processes that are running concurrently. You know? So this, you can see that this browser, it's having this kind of processes are running. So no process can be run simultaneously in a single core. That is a thumb rule. Okay, we'll look into it. But single thread means that only one process is doing at a time. That is what single threaded means. Okay. Sync needs a multi-core. Likit, I think you guys are confusing this pretty much. Let me just understand you better. See, one is sequential, one is synchronous. Synchronous, that means that in harmony with something else. Okay, this is your code, so it should be in harmony in something else, with something else. Since you guys don't know what is API call, you can just understand for now that if you are running your code, in between, if you have some operation that is like after this operation, after, like, these lines are depend on this operation, so you have to complete this operation in order to execute this line. Otherwise it will throw error. बिकॉज मान लो कि ये ऑपरेशन से मुझे कुछ वेरिएबल में वैल्यू मिलने वाली है, बट मैं एक्सेस कर रहा हूँ इधर विदाउट इसको एग्जीक्यूट किए, तो इट विल नॉट वर्क, राइट? इट इज नॉट सेंसिबली पॉसिबल. सो जावास्क्रिप्ट डोंट वर्क ऑन दिस वे. ठीक है, we will look into it, like what is API calls and what is function. Like in today's lecture only we will complete the function. What is JavaScript function, we'll complete that, so you will have a better idea in it. And sequential means step by step processes. So if you have mentioned the code of your code, that this should be your first step, this should be your second step, this is your function call, you have to make your function call. You have to just first make your function call, execute that, then come back later and do your task. Okay, so this both, I can understand that this both are little bit confusing, but bear with me for some sessions, you will understand this for sure. Okay. And what did I mean by multi-core? That means that suppose if you have multi processes that I already shown, right, in my task manager, so those all processes are divided on each core. So I have 16 core processor. Okay, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Similarly, I have 16 cores. So those all processes are divided on this cores. Each core is responsible for, at a time, each core is responsible for processing only one thread. More than one thread is not possible, but since my hardware capability is so more, like so powerful, that I cannot notice that processes are doing simultaneously. They are not they are not performing parallelly, like every process are not going parallelly, they are processing one by one. Okay, okay Riaz, so I'll explain you in other terms what is synchronous. Okay, just give me 1 minute, I'll just explain you what is synchronous, what does synchronous means. Okay, just give me 1 minute. Huh? Okay, can you all guys can see my screen? Can you all guys can see my screen? I'll just show you one demo. Okay, so this is a site in which I'm taking example. Okay, so see here there's the example is mentioned that it's written as script. Then like you can mention it, like you can relate it with console.log. Okay, it will print whatever is written here. Okay, so console.log hi, then break. Just forget this, what is this. Okay, forget this, forget about this, you have not learned about this, but you can understand that it will break your line and it will start with a new line. Okay, so hi Mayuk, how are you? This is what is written here. Okay, can you see my screen now? Okay, so here your code output would be this. Okay, because it's like it's sequential, it's doing its task. Okay, so as the name suggests, synchronous means the to be in the sequence, like it should be in the sequence. So every statement of the code gets executed one by one. ठीक है, ऐसा नहीं होगा कि हाई के बाद हाई को भी मैंने छोड़ दिया, डायरेक्टली मैं एग्जीक्यूट कर रहा हूँ मयूक को, फिर वापस आ रहा हूँ मैं हाई पे, ऐसा नहीं हो सकता. ठीक है, सो बेसिकली स्टेटमेंट हैज टू वेट. ठीक है, इन ऑर्डर टू गेट एग्जीक्यूटेड. सो इसको वेट करना पड़ेगा, ये एग्जीक्यूट हो उसके वहां तक. ठीक है, इट हैज टू वेट till this line would be executed. ठीक है, but if I'm telling you that, see, what does this set timeout do? Don't worry about this. I'm just telling you for now, just basic thing, that set timeout will wait, like it will wait for 2 seconds in order to execute this line. ठीक है, सो यहाँ पे आउटपुट आपका कैसा होगा कि पहले हाई, then it has to wait for 2 seconds, but it will not, it will directly jump into this because since it's in the wait state. ठीक है, it's asynchronous thing. ठीक है, so directly it will first print high, then it will print end, then it will print let's see what happens. ठीक है, so I hope the first example at least should be clear with you, that how JavaScript would be executed. It has to wait for one line execution in order to get into another line, another zone. Okay, 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 cool. Okay, so we'll not go in the history, but since I told you that JavaScript history is pretty much interesting. Okay, it's bit interesting. So it was invented by Brendan H in 1995. And it was he was recruited by Netscape to develop this language. Okay, basically, like first, as I told you, that it was developed for browsers only. That he was told, like Brendan was told, that make a language, hey, make a language that browser will be understanding. Okay, browser will understand. Okay, but in 1996, Microsoft came up with the first and like their own version of the JavaScript. That is something known as JScript. Microsoft has come up with the JavaScript version that was known as JScript. So what does Netscape did? Netscape go on, like Netscape went to ECMA, that I already told, that European Computer Manufacturers Association, that is so known as ECMA. So every some years they develop JavaScript new version and they launch in the market. So last version was ECMA. Last famous version was ECMA 15. Okay, ECMAScript 15 or 16. Okay, those these versions were pretty much famous in our zone. So we'll also learn today like lat and const. Those were also introduced by ECMA 15. Before that, we were not using what is lat, what is const. Don't we don't know about this. So it was introduced by this version. So this ECMA is a foundation of JavaScript. They frequently they will come up with the new versions of JavaScript that will enhance the functionality, and then that will enhance the community of JavaScript. Okay, so ECMA has developed this JavaScript, and this standardized JavaScript renamed as ECMAScript, and later on also it was known as JavaScript, as I explained you twice in previous lectures. I hope everyone remembers that. Okay, we already covered this, right? The example of Nodila. I hope you remember that. I think I explained you on your batch only. Right? Okay, so although JavaScript was invented way back, why it is booming now? Okay, that's good question, Aishwarya. See, JavaScript was famous in past decade only. Previously, it was not, because we were having bad network quality before. Okay, That was one of the main reason. Secondly, nobody was trusting on the client side things. Okay, nobody was trusting that client side can also be powerful, because if I will tell you that see, this browser is my client side thing, right? You will be working on your backend side, but this browser right now, it's my client side thing, so I can do anything I want. You know, I can breach your security points, I can breach your authentication levels. So security was pretty much that was concerned before, because it was totally focused on the browsers only. Later on Node.js came. Later on Node.js came. In the Node.js, they were told, like Node.js developers were told, that don't just focus on browser, don't just focus on this browser, instead focus on entire system. So they had developed something called as runtime. So this dependency on browser was gone. That was the main turning point of JavaScript. That is why the reason that JavaScript is booming now. And one more reason is that, see, our browsers and every client side thing will understand these three things only: JavaScript, sorry, HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Okay, these two are known that you cannot do much with this two, because these two are just for beautify. These are not intelligent enough to do your task. But but JavaScript is designed for dynamicity. Through its first release, it was designed for dynamicity. Okay, so why not create its own server? Why not create its own layer of authentication? Why can't we improve its security? So over the past few years, this were the major criteria that were deciding factor to like why JavaScript is famous right now and why we are learning that. Okay, please sir repeat how JavaScript is executed. I haven't Joseph, I haven't told like how JavaScript is executed. I haven't explained that till now. Can you be specific, like what you want me to repeat? I'll repeat that. JavaScript is also synchronous or only synchronous? See, Bharat, JavaScript is synchronous. JavaScript is synchronous, as we have learned, but with some tweaks, we can make it asynchronous. How? We'll learn it. I told you that we will introduce this keywords await and async. There are many things that you can implement in JavaScript through which you can make it asynchronous. Synchronous is not better, asynchronous is better. Okay, so we'll make it asynchronous for us. Okay, everybody. Bharat, am I clear? We'll learn it in API. You know? We'll learn it in API how you can make it asynchronous. Over there, I'll explain you. I'll remind you that, see, remember in that class, in your first class, we told you this. Okay? Why JavaScript is booming? Hariharan, I explained you that in each and every browser, in each and everything, these three things are only that you can work upon. If you are working with, suppose मान लो कि you are working with Java or you are working with .NET, ठीक है? So at the end of the day, Java and .NET will give you in response the HTML only. In response to HTML ही होगा ना, अपना browser में आप कुछ देख रहे हो तो वो HTML CSS ही है और कुछ नहीं है. At the end of the day, everything is HTML, CSS and JavaScript. ठीक है? So why JavaScript is booming? Because we know that with this we can focus on everything now, but back then they were just focused on the browser only. They were just limited to the browser only. They were focused on the how to make the browser better, you know. But now we are just focusing on our system, because JavaScript is now like node environment is installed on your system. You can search in your machine as well. If you have installed it will be installed not on your browser, it will install across your machine. That is the power of JavaScript. You can now you do anything you want. Okay, okay. Yeah, Harsha, I'll do that. I'll do that. Okay. Node.js changes the scenario for JS. Correct. Node JavaScript interpreter. So how it can be support synchronization? Nishant, interpreter है तो क्या like what does how does make it difference? Like it doesn't depend on like synchronous or synchronous. It depends on the language only. Okay, it is sync at base level, but can be made. Yeah, I told you, na Ranjit. We'll make it async through the await and async operators. What does that mean? We'll explain that. Okay, Rupesh. Which particular part, Rupesh, you want me to explain in synchronous? Because I think so. I have explained you pretty well. like 2 to 3 times. Everyone else is understanding. Rupesh, can you please tell me which particular point you want me to touch? Just in normal. Okay, I'll do. Don't worry. JS made client side secured. Not entirely, but yeah, it does. Okay. So okay, wait a minute. Okay. So for the people those who have some problem still with the synchronous, please understand it better. That synchronous means the order of execution. Okay. Okay. So as we have seen in the example of this as well. See, I'm sharing my screen again. Okay. So in this example, this set timeout is this example is not a secured one. Like it's not a synchronous one, because see, after this high in the output, can you see where is this letters? What happens is printed at the end, right? If it's synchronous, like in the above example, then it has to print in order, like hi, then Mayuk, then how are you. This is the example of synchronicity. Okay. But if I will introduce something, don't worry about this. What is this? If I will introduce something in between, that will hamper my flow, such as like after this high, it has to print this if it's synchronous, but it doesn't. So that is the mean that this is an example of asynchronous. And then it is printing end, like high, end, and after that, in the end, let us see what happens. So if it's synchronous, then it has to print in the order. If it's not, then it has to print after the execution of this. So am I clear with this, Rupesh? Since you are not working, we are right now not working with APIs. You know, we have not seen what is async operator, what is await operator. So so that is the reason why you have some confusion. But please be with me. Please bear with me for some sessions. We will get to understand this. Synchronous is in order, correct? Okay. Okay. And so this is your question, like why we have to use JavaScript. Okay, this was your question, so this is your answer. That no, there are many reasons for that. That JavaScript is always be a front end thing, like UI thing that we have to use in the website. Okay, so the browser that I told, right, that browser will understand only three things: HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. True. Okay, so there are languages like forget about this. What is JWT? Like Java and Dart and many other languages that will use to create this UI that were using before, but now they are don't. They have stopped this. So those languages translate their code into JavaScript. So what does this Java before was doing? That it will also under like convert its code and its entire language into JavaScript. So JavaScript guys thought that why can't we make this thing? Why we have to translate this from one language to another? Make us stronger, like Atmanirbhar Bharat. Okay? So JavaScript code then gets executed on the browser. But now we can also work with outside of browser with the help of Node.js. This is why we are using JavaScript. Cool. It was pretty much covered in introductory session, right? We had seen in detail why we had this kind of things. Okay, so yeah, through JavaScript, like this is the best example of this. So see, till now we have learned that JavaScript is made for web apps, but it's not entirely true. Through the JavaScript you can make your desktop applications through the Electron.js with React Native also, and with React Native you can make iOS and Android app both. So JavaScript is now on web apps, on desktops, and your mobile applications. So see the power of JavaScript now. Okay? And one more thing, through the JavaScript you can be easily be a full stack developer. I don't know how many times I have repeated this, because previously you have learned no Node, like you have learned Java in the backend. In the front end you have to learn something else. Okay, so there are two languages that you were focusing on, but now with the JavaScript you can learn React with in the front end, you can learn Node in the back end. So these are the basically you can be a full stack developer with minimal effort. ठीक है. Yes, Amit, you can make it, because with the node almost or everything that you can do in the blockchain also we are using Node.js. ठीक है. Rupesh, I don't think so, because this is covering entirely a backend, but you have to check with no student advisor that you have. Yeah. Now, I hope everyone have installed Mozilla Firefox. Yes, no. Let me take a poll. Click on yes if you have installed. Click on no if you haven't. Okay. Cool. So almost 80% people have installed. Cool. Okay. So now I will tell you how to no work around with this Mozilla. Okay. Shri Harsha, if you have Google Chrome, then don't worry. You can also do this. But the way this Mozilla will work, that you will not have in Chrome. So yeah, this is a Firefox. Let me just share my screen. Okay. Just confirm once you can see my screen. Okay, cool. Okay, so as we did earlier, you have to go in the inspect element. Either you can go by right clicking on anywhere in the screen. You can go with this inspect, or else you can just press F12. That will open your console. Okay, am I clear with this? Okay, you have to open this console. Okay, and you have to go with this icon. Can you see this icon? Okay, you have to click on that. It will open the entire editor in your browser. Okay, it will open the entire editor in your browser. Have you opened that? In Mac, also the same command, or else you can just go with the no right clicking on that, right click on your browser and click on inspect. Because what I explained that after you will open your Firefox, after you will open your Firefox, that is Mozilla, है ना? Joseph, I am explaining about the Firefox. Okay. So after you will open your Firefox, you have to right click on the browser. That is, I'm clicking right clicking on this. You can see this inspect. There's something written as inspect here. You have to click here. Now you will open, you have this inspector here, but you have to go beside of that. That is something known as console. You have to click on that. You will end up in this page. Have you done this, everyone? Okay. Then you have to click on this icon. You have to click on this icon. This is something known as responsive design. You have to click on this icon. Okay. Done. Okay. Can you see this particular thing called something called as run? Okay, so for those who haven't understanding this, I'm explaining again. I'm opening my Firefox again. Okay. After opening the Firefox, I have to right click on the page. I have to go in the inspect. Okay. And I have to go in this console. Okay. In the console, can you see this run? Can you see this particular thing, something called as run here? No. Why you guys are no? Can you please, can you guys see this run? No. Why you are not seeing this? After doing this console, see. Okay. Can you see this icon? Particular icon? Those who haven't seen this, can you see this particular icon? Okay, click on that. Now can you see run icon? Okay, everybody now. Nana, where were you? Like I'm repeating again for you. I'm just repeating again. This is a pretty simple thing, guys. We will not waste much time with this. Okay, open the Firefox. I have opened my Firefox. I have to right click on this. I have to click on this inspect. Till now, everyone have access with this, and click on this console. Can everyone can see this particular window that I have opened? Nana, Nana. Okay. Now, can you see this icon, Nana? The switch to multi-line editor mode. Nana, can you see this? Okay. If you can see, press here. Click on this. You can see this. Okay. Cool. Okay. Finally, we are sync now. Everyone with me. Okay. Cool. Manoj, which particular point you are stuck with? Because I have explained thrice, and this is not a particular like this should be explained. Run are not how. You are on which browser, Manoj? Chrome or Mozilla? Mozilla. Then you have to like you will see this for sure. You have to click on this icon or just press Control plus B. You can be land up in this particular thing that is called as run. If you cannot, just place hold on for a minute. Okay. Okay, because everyone have installed, so we'll not waste much time with this. Okay, Manoj. Okay. Kunal, you can press F12 or you can just right click on this and go with this inspect if you cannot. Okay, cool. Okay. What is the use of the icon? Yeah, I'll tell you. Yeah, okay, cool, Manoj. Okay, fine. So see, previously in the Chrome, now listen to me carefully, everyone. Listen to me carefully, everyone. In the Chrome, let me open the Chrome or no, yeah, let me open the Chrome. Okay. Okay. We'll press F12. Okay. So we did this earlier that we gone into this console. We'll write that, but remember by entering like we cannot write two lines here. We have to press F12 like Shift plus Enter in order to do that. If I'll do this high, you know. Now let's suppose I need to write another line. Okay, so I need to press Shift plus Enter. If I press just Enter, then it will show me just a simple thing, just one liner. But if I have to include multi-line such as this, console dot log hello, okay, so it will show me two lines now, but I have to press Shift plus Enter in order to do that. But in the Mozilla you can just write even whichever way we were working in our VS Code. Okay, it will show something like that only. So I'll zoom it. I'll just write our first program in JavaScript that is like hello world. In every language we will write like ऐसा नहीं होता है कि if we buy some new home or new car, we'll break the coconut. In the same way, if we are learning any new languages, we'll write first code in the hello world. This is the thing we will follow. Okay, so it's like hello world. Okay. Now, if you want to like write any kind of new line, you have to just press enter. It will do its job, right? The way we will follow in our every other ID. Okay, you have to click this run in order to run your program. You have to click this run icon in order to run your program, or else also you can press Control plus Enter to run your program. There's two way. Okay, everyone is clear with this? Can I have everybody run their first program with the hello world? ठीक है ना? Got it? Everyone? ठीक है? I'm creating a poll. Let me know. Manoj, Nena, You clear with me? Okay. Those who haven't, please post in the chat section what you have faced. Vikas, please tell me what the problem you're facing. Cool, Jess. Yeah, great. Yeah, Nana. No run on Mac. Okay. So, okay, Ashura, can you press Control plus Enter? Because I'm not sure what command in the Mac they are using, but in Windows, it will work like this. Is there way to increase the font size? Yes. You have to press Control plus plus. Just press Control plus plus. It will increase the font size. I do the same thing, but I cannot able to do programming like Hello World. Have you written Vikas the line here like console.log and press on the enter like run? Vikas, I guess you have some problem with this. Please refresh the page and come back. Okay. And Ashwarya, for you, if you are facing any kind of problem with no in the Mac, uh, yeah, it's enter. Press enter to run. Okay, okay. Amit, thanks for confirming. Ashwarya, please press enter to run. Okay, it will do your job. ठीक है ना? Okay, cool. Is this the simple program for this? Yes, it was the simple program. Okay, this was our first program. Now we will play around this. Now we will play around this. How? Let me just tell you. Just a minute. Okay. So yeah, see. Now we'll see like what is the Mozilla Firefox. Like it provides multi-line console that we have currently seen. Okay. You have to press F12 or right click and press on inspect. You can also go through with this slide if you are still facing any kind of problem. Okay. Okay. Cool. And this particular window will you will be seen. And now we'll just understand what kind of functions are there. Okay, I'm sharing my screen again. This is a really crucial concept. It's pretty easy, but if you learn it properly, you are good to go. Vishnu, don't save right now. Don't save right now. We'll save in the VS code, है ना? Chrome don't have multi-line console. No. Chrome doesn't have this. Okay, so I'm just creating the new page. Okay. Okay. So let's understand now. I'm back with our code, like with our board. Okay. So let's understand what is a function. Okay. So we'll spend some time with this because I feel that if you learn it properly, you will not have much problem in JavaScript because JavaScript is a functional programming. Remember, we have learned, yeah? JavaScript is a functional programming. Okay. So for some time, please, I will not be able to see your comments. Okay. So for just for a few minutes, pay attention with me. Okay. So what does the function means? That means if you have your little brother, okay, if you are sick, if you have your little brother, you will tell your little brother to get you something. For an example, you will tell your brother to get a pencil from stationery store. Okay? So this is your brother, this is you, this is a stationery store. So you will command your brother that hey, go to the stationery store, take out the pencil, okay, take out the pencil and come back, give it to me. Okay, okay. So your brother will go to the store, ask for pencil, pay for it, come back and return it to you. Okay. Think about this scenario. Think about this scenario in computer terms. Okay. Okay. Now, suppose for an example, you want to add two numbers. Okay. Remember here, I haven't told to add 1 or 2, 5 or 6, 10 or 100. I haven't given any kind of input to you that add this. I told you that add two numbers. Numbers can be anything. It can be 1, 2, it can be 5, 6, it can be 100, or anything that I want. Okay? You have to make your code that much of possibility, like that much of optimum, that it can add any two numbers that I will give. Okay? So what you will do now, the ideal way to do this is you will write a function. Why you will write a function? Because that can be possibility that right now I'm telling you to add 1, 2. Tomorrow I will tell you to add 5, 6. Day after tomorrow I'll tell you to add 10, 100, and I will tell multiple times in a day. Okay? So you are not that much of free for me that every time you will write code for me to write the same logic but with different kind of numbers, different kind of arguments. Okay? Okay? So for that purpose you will write a function. This function will ultimately do my task, that is add two numbers. Now every time I will ask you to add any numbers, you will tell me that, sir, I have already created a function. Just call that function, it will do your job. You will just tell me that. Okay? Okay? Think about like Nobita and Doraemon. Okay? Whenever Nobita is in trouble, he'll call Doraemon. Doraemon will solve his problem. That's the same way you will do. Whenever you have any kind of problem, you will create the solution. In future, anyone or you have the same problem, you will not waste your time to write the same thing. You will create, instead you will create a function right now. In future, if anybody wants to use it, they will just call this function. So in this scenario, right now you have called your brother. Your brother is now acting as a function. You have called your function to get some task. Okay? Your brother will do this task, your function will do some task and return back to you. Okay? Okay? In future, if your friend is sick, your friend will again call your brother that, hey, you did the same task for your brother, please do this for me. You just call your brother and just explain that you did some task for your brother, just do the same task for me. So your brother will do the same task for you as well. You don't have to explain, your friend doesn't have to explain that how you will do this task, because he has already done this task in the past. Okay? So so you can understand it by this way, that this is your code. If you want to do some feature, if you want to add some feature, if you want to do some task repeated time, then you will call a function with arguments. Like arguments means some instructions that you will tell your brother. Like right now you will tell your brother that uh, for an instance, give me a pencil with the brand Nataraj, should not exceed, like price should not exceed 5 rupees. Okay? Delivery should be in 30 minutes. Okay? So this kind of parameters, this kind of conditions that you will tell your brother to do. So these are something called as arguments that you will pass with the function. Okay? Okay? So in your code, you will call your function with some arguments. It is known as arguments. Now, and your function will do its job and give you the output. Okay? So my voice is clear, everyone? Now, please refresh the page. Okay? So see, here this is the input. This is the input. This is your function. This is a processing. That means your CPU will process your function and give you the output. Okay? So this function can be reused in future by whichever means you want. Okay, so a function is a block of code which will perform some task or your task. It will take some input as a parameter. It will apply in some logic, like it will do the same, like it will do its task with the help of this input and give you the output. Okay, ठीक है, थोड़ा थोड़ा क्लियर हो रहा है, little bit people, है ना, for non technical people as well, am I clear? Okay, yeah, I'm repeating, don't worry. Okay, so what I told you, Nilanjan, what I told you is, okay, I told you that this is your code. You will pass some argument in order to call this function. Your function is a piece of code. That means this is your function, like function test. Inside of this parenthesis, you will apply your argument. You will put your arguments. You know? And this is your piece of code that is written in the slide. You know? So with the help of this piece of code, you will achieve this output. Okay? You will achieve this output. Okay? Okay? So this is something is no use of this function. In future, if you want to have same requirement of this task, then you will just call this function by its name and its parameters. Right now it's empty, but in future we'll see what kind of parameters can be inside of this. So this is the definition and this is the use case of function. Why the function is popular in JavaScript in each and every languages. Okay? Okay, this was the basic and like at most basic thing that I need to tell you. Okay, yes, you can reuse the function to use in the future. Correct. Okay, are functions both predefined and user defined? We'll see it here and will not go in that. The types of the function will not go in that. We just first understand what is function, then we'll expand that horizon. Okay. Okay, cool, fine. So this is your like first program that we already did about the hello world. Okay, we wrote the console.log hello world and we'll press on the run button. It has printed the output the console.log hello world. Okay, we already did this. I actually we did much more than this in the previous session, right? You remember? You remember? Okay, so it says awesome. You have run successfully first your JavaScript program. Like we'll understand what does this means console and log. Okay. So those who don't know what is console.log, then this is the way how you'll print something in your browser. Yes, yes. So Priyanshu says it has a good point. Priyanshu has good point. Said, sir, we are using this console.log. Inside of this, we are passing our string that we want to print in the browser, such as like hello. Okay. So remember, I told you that you will write your function by this like function, then anything like test. Inside of this, you will remember this particular parenthesis. You will write your code. Whenever you have to call this, you will write this test like this. Similarly, can you relate with this log? This parenthesis. This is the argument. Okay, will not go, will not learn entire thing in today, but you can relate it with this like, right, forget about this. What is this? Forget about this. Can you relate with this now that this is a function name, this is a parenthesis, you know. By the way, you will call your function. Inside of this, you are supposed to pass your argument. Here you are passing your argument that whichever string you want to print. So whenever you will write console.log, right now I am writing hi. If tomorrow I have to use the same thing, like I have functionality to print something on my browser, so I'll not write entire piece of code again. I'll just call this function log. Now if I will write hello in the argument, it will print hello now. So see, this is the repeating, and this is the best example of the function, isn't it? Yes, log is a function, isn't it? क्लियर है ना? ठीक है, cool, ठीक है. So see, the same thing, the console.log is explained here. So we'll just see this because we have already seen the logic. ठीक है, ठीक है, okay. Deepak, output is not hello world. Deepak, I think you have to write this. So I'm writing in the chat window console.log. Inside of this log, whichever you will write, it will be print in the browser. So it will print like this. So Hariharan, we are passing the arguments, like hello world is right now is of argument. Okay. So in between of this particular braces, you have to pass your argument. Like on between of this braces, you have to pass your arguments. Okay. Console is the object, correct. Okay. Okay. So let's see what is console.log in detail. Okay. So console is an object. Okay. That provides access to the browser's debugging console. Okay. If you want to print anything, or if you want to do with anything, like console.error is also a function. We already seen that. Console.warn is also a function. We already seen that in previous session. Those who have missed, please watch it. Okay. Okay. So log is another kind of a function or a method by which you can print everything on your browser. Okay. You have to print whatever string you will pass as an argument. Okay. It will be printed in the browser. Okay. Okay. So there might be a case that it's written here that you will not understand what is object and what is method, what is argument, but I have explained you. Okay. Okay. So we'll learn it in future anyway, but now for now also I have explained you what is argument, what is method. Method is like another name of function. So whenever you will read method, it is a function only. Okay, don't confuse. Okay. Okay. So we'll learn it in coming sessions. Don't worry. Okay, everybody clear? है? Exciting? है ना? Enjoying ना? Cool. ठीक है. Okay, so now we'll learn something that variables. Okay, we already seen much in the previous session, but we'll learn in future, like learn right now what is variables in detail. So Deepak, argument means okay, I'll explain about arguments again. So argument, that means the thing that is useful to you. Like in our example, I told my brother to go to the store and take out the pencil, which is less than 30 rupees. Less than 5 rupees. It should be on the Nataraj brand only, and you have to come back within 30 minutes. So these are my conditions. These are my arguments. Okay, you can use those arguments inside a function. For an instance, in this log method, what is the argument? Okay, if I'm writing console.log hi, so can anybody tell me what is the argument here? Hi, right? It's argument. Okay, na? So this is the argument that you will use in your function. Okay, whatever you will write here, hi or hello or anything, it will be printed in the browser. It's simple. Okay, cool. Okay, now we'll learn about the variables now. Okay, so there are the three kind of ways where you can initialize a variable. First one we have already looked upon, that is var. Second one is let, and third one is const. Okay, these are the three kind of variables that we will use in our session for today. And as I already told you that let and const are being introduced later on. It's just introduced by JavaScript ECMA 15. Okay, so in the ECMA 15 version, this were introduced. Before that, we have just var for every variables, but now everybody will omit that. They will just focus on either let or const. Okay, 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 fine. So yeah, let us learn now in detail what what do I mean by the variable. So let me add this slide, and just a second. Okay, I'm just opening one another thing for you. Okay. Okay. So it has been introduced, as I said, that it has been introduced in ES6. This all comes like where or let or const. Okay. So let's first understand what is where. Okay, we'll understand what is where for now. Okay. So can anybody tell me that we have covered where in detail in previous lectures or not? Like you have some idea regarding where. I just mean to say that you have some idea regarding where. What does where mean, and what kind of operations that we did with the where. You know, I'm pretty much sure that many of guys you are aware about the where thing. Okay, variable or keyword. Okay. So let's take in the detail what is where. Okay. So like before like ES6 that I have already explained before ES6, where declaration was the only thing by which you can initialize or declare a variable. Okay. Okay. So there were some issues with the where that we will overcome now. You know, that were some issues with the where that we have overcome with the help of ES6. Okay. Okay. That is why we need to learn what is let and what is where, const. Okay, first let's understand what is let, what is where, and what were the issues that we have resolved with the let and const. Okay. Okay, so about the uh, first we will learn about the scope of the where. Okay, first we will learn about the scope of the where. Okay, now what does this mean, scope? What is the scope? Okay, so scope means the lifetime, like la, lifetime, or you can also tell it's like validity. Okay, validity. After this it will expire. After this it will expire. है ना? So where, if you have declared where a equals to 2, so how long I can access this? This is something known as scope. So what is the scope of this where a? है ना? So this is something known as scope. So for those I am explaining, for those who don't know, है ना? So scope essentially means where these variables are available for use. You cannot use your variables anywhere in your program. Yeah? There are some rules for that. Okay? So where declarations are globally scoped or function scoped or locally scoped. Okay? So it's like scope is like globally or functionally or locally. Okay? Okay? Okay, so where scope is like globally, functionally, or locally. What does this mean, global, function, and local? I don't know about this. What does this mean, global, function, and local? Okay, so let us tell you. Let me tell you that if I will tell you that I'm writing where uh, my variable name is like what, print. Okay, I'm taking as a print. Where print is equals to, here I'm taking example as greet. Okay, this is my variable. Now what I'll do, I'll write a function. Whenever you have to write a function, you just have to write the keyword function. You have to write a function name. Okay, so I'll write function name as like f name here right now, or else I'll do, for everyone I'm stuck, for everybody I'm stuck, or you can hear my voice. It was stuck before. Okay, cool. Okay, so Nana, please refresh your page. I think there is something wrong with this. है ना? So you have to write the function. Please clearly, carefully listen to me. Huh? So we have to write your function name. Like you have to write the keyword function, then you have to write your function name. That means here I will write my function name as for now I'll just write print function. Okay, okay. I'll write the name print function. Then I'll make this as an empty parenthesis. Okay, this is the parenthesis known as a parenthesis. Inside of this we will put our argument if argument is there, or if argument is there. It's not necessary that each and every function will have some argument. Okay. 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 Then I have to open my curly braces, I have to close my curly braces. Inside of this curly braces I have to write my function code. Okay. Okay. Now inside of this, if I am writing where print is equals to greet again. ठीक है. ओके. ठीक है ना. ओके. ठीक है. And I'll just change this variable name since it was used. I'll just write it as a hello. Okay. ठीक है. That's cool. I have written where print greet. So I have written this only. This is my code. ठीक है. So this print, this is my code's first line. This is my last line. ठीक है. It's something known as like fifth line. ठीक है. This is my last line. ठीक है. So the scope of this print, I can access it anywhere in my program. ठीक है. From the line first to the line fifth, or any line that I have in my program, any number of line, I can access this print since it is globally scoped. Like it's defined with the where. So okay, so this print variable is global scoped. I can access this entire globally in my program. This is clear. Okay. Now think about this hello. Think about this hello variable. It is declared inside of this parenthesis. Okay. So you cannot access this hello outside of this parenthesis. So suppose if I have line number 6, okay, if I have some line after this, I cannot access this hello because its scope is functional, like this this block only. Okay, this block only. However, after the line number 5th, since print is a globally scoped, I can access the print variable. How many number of people are agree with me? Okay, cool. Okay, okay, okay. So if you want to see is in the example, let me share my screen. Okay, okay. So what I wrote was that where, okay, where I have written print is equals to greet. Okay. After that I have write the function. Then I will have to write my function name. That is my print function. I have to open and close my parenthesis. I have to open and close my curly braces. Inside of this, I can write it. You know? Inside of this, I will declare where hello. Sorry, where hello is equals to hi or no greet again anything. Okay. Now try to print console.log print and try to print console.log hello. Okay. Okay. Joseph, it's not necessary to pass argument every time in the function. If it's needed, if it's required, then and then only you have to pass. ठीक है ना? Okay. ठीक है. Yeah. See, this print has successfully printed my variable greet string here. Since it's a global scope, it's a global scope. ठीक है. This hello, it's declared inside the function and I am accessing outside of the function. That is why it is giving me the error that hello is not defined. Okay, this is clear, people? This is clear? Okay, Deepak will not go in that part. I'm not getting anything from global scope and more confusing what is scope and syntax. Okay, Chandrakant. Okay, so I'm explaining for you. Okay, since you are from non-tech, it's not, it doesn't make any kind of difference in that. Okay, so what what we have to do? Okay, scope scope means the validity of the program. Okay, scope means the validity of the program. Okay, let me share my screen again. I have to just no, show you something. Okay, open board and I'll just create the new tab. Okay. So here, what do I mean the scope? As I told you that if you recharge in the Geo, in Airtel or in Vodafone, okay, so there they will give you some validity that till this particular day you can make calls and you can use your internet. After this day, after the day 30th, you cannot able to make calls or use my internet. Okay, this is something known as validity. Okay, that means if you recharge in your phone, if you do recharge in your phone, it will come with some validity. It is not necessary that once you have recharged you can use lifetime. You know, it will not work in that way. Similarly, if you have declared a variable with the var test equals to 2, so that doesn't come with the lifetime validity. It will have some expiry date or it will have some expiry condition. That is something known as scope. Now, I told you that I used the term global scope. Global means entire, like global. What do you mean by global? Global warming. What do you mean by global warming? You know? So it will happen in entire, from the entire globe. It will do in the entire globe. You know? So that does mean the global. In the similarly in our code, global means in our entire code. You know, in our entire code file. That does mean the global. So if you declare var test equals to 2 in the first line, in the very first line, you know, okay, so this test would be globally accessed. You can access it anywhere in the program, irrespective of what. But that is meant by global. But what do you mean by functional globe? Functional scope. That means its validity will be inside the function only. Its scope will be inside the function only. That means if I am writing a function, that is function uh, print. Okay, inside this parenthesis, that is not necessary to pass every time anything. Okay, right now I'm putting it empty. I have to open this curly braces. I have to close this curly braces. Inside of this, you can write anything you want. Okay, so I'm writing. I will initialize a variable where look where equals to uh, 50. Okay, equals to 50. Okay, so you cannot access this variable look where outside of this particular block. This is something known as functional scope since it is declared inside this function. Okay, that is what I have shown you. That is what I have shown you in my browser. Let's see. I declared I declared this variable called as print. You know, in the very first line of my code. That means it will have now the global scope. It will have now the global scope. Okay. Now, just to explain you, I have initialized a function with the function, then function's name, that is print function. I have passed empty parenthesis. I have initialized the curly braces. I have closed the curly braces. Okay, I have closed the curly braces. Inside of this, I have declared another variable that is known as hello. Inside in the hello, I have explained you that we will write the grid again. You know, so if you want to access this hello outside of this scope, you cannot able to do that since its scope is between this function only. But since you have declared this print, above the program, like in the first line of program, you can use this in a global thing. Okay, this is the global scope, and this is something called as my functional scope. Okay, everyone, am I clear now, Deepak? Hariharan, we will have break now. Okay, how to call a function? We have to call the function by this only, like function name. There is a print function, and you have to just mention this. That is, we have to call the function. Similarly, the console.log. Okay, okay. Similarly, the console.log. Okay. Nilanjan, we will look into it. We don't have to call the function now. Okay. Okay. Everybody. In this example, Joseph, there is I haven't modified, like I haven't tell you what is a user function. Okay, so I just explained you the scope. This is just meant by the scope only. I have explained you with the focus of the scope only. Okay. Okay. Code line ends with semicolon. It's not necessary, but if you can just make a habit to have semicolons. One more example, can you take, Nana? Okay, I will take after the break, because right now it's 9:33. So you have to take the break. Okay, so we'll come back at 9:43. It would be fine with you, or 9:45. Okay, we'll come back at 9:45. Okay, till now everyone with me. Okay, so we'll take 15 minutes break then. Okay, so we'll come back at 9:50. Okay, okay, great. Okay, till now everyone with me, right? Correct. Cool. Take it. Go and take your dinner. We'll come back and we'll see what is the let and what is const again. Can we change global variable within the function? We'll change this Rias today only. Okay. Okay. Go and come back at 9:50. Okay. We'll continue with at 9:50. Deepak, there is no syntax here. Deepak, what do you mean by syntax? Which syntax? I'm not getting it. How write the code? I'm still not getting it, Deepak. Yeah, thanks, Weber. Thank you, Weber. Okay, okay, Deepak. But in which particular part you want me to tell you the concept? Okay, don't worry. Just take a break. I will explain everything again. Okay. So basically, where is a keyword with everything in JavaScript? Nishant, not everything. If you want to initialize a variable, then where keyword will be used? Whether is bad. Yeah, Ravina. Okay. Okay. In which part of no in from which part you are right now attending the lecture? Anyway, we'll continue at 9:50. Okay. Okay, go and come back with refreshed mind. Okay. Print function is reserved in JS. No, print is not reserved in JS, Rias. You can try it by running the program. Okay. Print is not reserved. Please go and come back fast. Okay. Likit will take this in today's lecture only, if possible. No, will not take it in the prompt. It's not C. If we call print in script tag, it open print dialog. Huh? If we call print in script tag, it open print dialog. Okay, let me try. Do one thing, just come back after break. We'll see it. Okay, we'll see it. Yes, I don't know what what you are telling. Just let me know after the break. Okay. Okay. Welcome back, guys. You take our dinner. डिनर किया कि नहीं? Cool. Cool. ठीक है. Take your dinner, yeah. It's too late. I'm audible now. हाँ. Cool. ठीक है. Okay. Then. Okay. ठीक है. So we'll start now. ठीक है. So one of you guys has asked me the question about the print. ठीक है. So see, print is not a default method or anything default in JavaScript. In JavaScript, you don't have anything like print, but if you do print in your console, you have a print dialog, है ना? ठीक है. So print is a object of the window object. What is window object? We'll learn that. ठीक है. Previously also we had this in a name, right? In the name property, it by default gave us the blank string. It is also default, like it is also property of the window object. Window object is a object of the browser, not the JavaScript. ठीक है. Okay, लिख it. So previously name was also there. I told you that it's something called as default thing in the browser. It's by default is empty. Similarly, we have a default function called as print. It will show you the default dialog of the print. Okay. So we don't have to understand what is window right now. Okay. Cool. Now, one of you guys has asked me about the question of for the syntax. Okay. So Deepak, there is no Deepak is there or not? Deepak is here or not? If is back. Deepak, I think you had asked me the question about the syntax, right? Who has some doubt regarding the class? Please ask so that we can move further. Huh, Deepak. So, I didn't tell as such about the syntax. Okay, but you can ask me about the which kind of syntax you want me to explain about the function also. Body of program. I'm not getting you still. So see, I'll just explain you body of program. Is it what you meant? Is this what you meant, Deepak? No? Okay, see. So in this is a console for the Mozilla. Here you can write your code. Okay? Here you can write a program. Program is a set of code sentences. Okay? So what I did is I initialize a variable called as print. है So you have to initialize a variable through the where keyword. Okay? So where print equals to, I have initialized with a string called as grid. Okay? Since it's in the first line of program, its scope is global. Okay? Now here there is an example of the there is a function called as print function. Whenever you have to initialize a function, you have to initialize with the function keyword. After that you have to name any name of the function. After that, inside of this parenthesis, you have to write your argument, if any. There is not a compulsion to write argument here. For many classes we will not include any arguments. Okay, so don't confuse in that. After that we have to initialize the open the body of the function. We have to uh, where hello equals to grid again, like I have initialized another variable. So those who don't know, this is called as comments. What is comments, we'll cover it in the end part of our lecture of today. So just for now, just forget about this. Okay, this is known as something called as comment. Okay, now if we want to call this function, then you have to call this function by this, like function name and the parenthesis. But for now we don't have to call our function. Okay, then I have to access this print in order to see whether I can get the variable's value or not. Okay, since it's a global scope, I will get the variable names print grit here, as you can see here. You know, this hello, it's inside the function. That means after this function ends, it will be expired. So after this line here, I cannot access this hello again because its validity is expired. Okay, its recharge is expired. You can also mean that. Okay, so I cannot access hello. That is why it's telling you that is reference error. Hello is not defined. You know, everybody, Deepak, am I clear with this now? How can we print hello then? I have printed hello. Okay, okay. So you have to, if you want to print hello here, then you have to print it here. Console.log. Inside this, you have to print console.log hello, and now you have to call this function because this hello, this console.log line is inside the function. So now how you will call the function? Function name and parenthesis. This is how you will call your function. So now if you run the program, you can see that first you have printed my function. That means hello means greet again. So in the first line you have greet again. After that I have printed print, that means greet, and I have again printed hello. Since it's expired, I cannot print it. Am I clear now? Okay. Deepak is saying, can you explain the first program console.log hello? This one, Deepak, are you clear now? I think this is an old comment of you. Old one, yeah. Okay, cool. Okay, so am I clear with this now? Okay, na? Okay, then we'll move further. Okay. Okay. So see, here it is written that see where is globally scoped or function scoped. Okay. This means that the scope of the variables defined by this keyword, that is where keyword, you know, can be either complete from the complete program, means from line 1 to till end of the program, you know, or inside the function that I have already shown you. Okay. So they have taken the example. We have like very good example in our case. We have also include the function. Okay. Okay. Cool. And this last thing we'll see in the last. Okay. Similarly, in the const, remember we have declared where hello equals to something. Okay. So instead of this where, now we will write const hello equals to something. So this will change something. What it will change? Let me show you. Okay. So see, right now I have I'll just remove this. I will also remove this. Okay. What I'll do now, let me just first tell you one another thing regarding this where, then after we'll shift to the const. Okay. So see, right now my value of this print is greet, right? It will print greet, you know. If I will run this program, then you can see that it will print greet. For this, for hello, it will print error. Okay. Now for an instance, after this variable declaration print greet, I want to update this variable's value. Let's say where print is equals to changed print. Okay. Now console.log if I'll do console.log print, then it will print changed print, not just greet. Okay. The variable value has been changed. इतना समझ में आ रहा है? Am I clear? Are you all guys with me? Okay. We need to declare print as a where again. Okay, I'll do that. So see, here I have declared again. Let's say where print equals to change print. But if I don't want to do that, I can also do this, like not writing where again. I'll just write print equals to change print. It will also do my job. Okay. Good question. Done.
ठीक है, क्रिस्टल क्लियर, कूल, ठीक है, ओके नाउ, ओके नाउ दिस इज ऑल अबाउट द वेर, ठीक है। नाउ इंस्टेड ऑफ दिस वेर I will declare my variable with the help of const, ठीक है, I'll declare my variable with the help of the const, okay, here also I'll write const, here also I'll do print equals to change print, ठीक है, and one more thing also, let me just take the example of that, uh, 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 ठीक है, we'll do this only for now, we can access the first print, right? Okay, we'll do that, we'll see that, okay. So see, I have just replaced where with the const, okay, as I told earlier that we can declare our variable with where, let and const, okay. These three things are there, so we have completed the where part, will now we are doing with the const part, then we'll look the let part, okay. So I just replaced the where with the const, everything is remaining same, okay. Let us run that, let us run that and see what error it is giving me. Syntax error, redeclaration of where print is not allowed, okay. So redeclaration of the variable, that means this print variable is not allowed, ठीक है, ठीक है. So in case of where the redeclaration is allowed, but in case of where the redeclaration, so in case of where the redeclaration was allowed, but in case of const it is not allowed. Similarly, if you can see carefully in this example, see const a equals to 5 they have declared, now they are all they are changing the value of this const, that is means a equals to 6, so it will give us the error that assignment cannot be again, assignment cannot be do again, ठीक है. So output would be the error Joseph, because we cannot assign the value, ठीक है. Okay Deepa. So in case of where, just a second, where is my pen? Okay, huh. So see, in case of this where, what we did like where a equals to 6 and a equals to 7. So it is allowed in where. In case of const, it is not allowed. Like if you are doing const a equals to 6 and a equals to 7. So in case of const, it is not allowed. Like it's a constant. Constant cannot be changed. What do you mean by constant? You can also like refer to your own life, right? You are telling some people in your life that are constant in your life, that will be constant in your life, that will be static in your life, correct? Okay, that those people would not be changed. Similarly, in case of variable, in case of variable, this value is fixed. It is a constant. Okay. Similarly to your friends, some of your friends would be your constants, ठीक है, in that way, okay. Okay, now yeah, it's same like a constant like 3.14 like pi, है ना. So this third thing was the same, like there can be declared without being initialized. So where, instead of this where a equals to 7, I can also do a equals to 6 and a equals to 7 without writing where keyword. I can also write this, by default it's where, but in case of const I have to write the const if I want to avail the functionality of the const, okay. So it's saying me that I can also declare my variable without the help of this where keyword also. By default it's where, so I should not write this where also. If you meant that this a is where, then you don't have to write where also, okay. It will not show any kind of error to you, but in case of const you have to write the const keyword. Let I haven't explained Deepak, I'm just explaining where and const, please focus on that, that would be great, ठीक है. Okay, so you can understand that if you have some values that should not change, such as the employee salary, if you have the employee salary defined once, it should not change for at least a year, है ना. This is a process that generally everyone is following, ठीक है. Okay, so now let's focus on the let. What is let? So let is like छोटा भाई of let where, ठीक है, छोटा भाई of where is let, ठीक है. So in this variable scope is remain under the block only. Now, what do we mean by block? Block means the same, like if you have this kind of block, this is just considered as a block, ठीक है. Inside the function also, this function, this is a block. So this curly braces is called as a block, ठीक है. So here they have given the example that if you have the variable where a equals to 2, let b equals to 3. If you print console.log a here, so this will print 3 because where is allowed, ठीक है. Now if you try to print console.b, this will also print the b's value, that is 3 here, ठीक है. This is also print the value of the b will, that will be 2 here, ठीक है. Let me just zoom it out so that you can see it. Can you guys can see it? It's readable. Is readable now, ठीक है. So it will print the value of a, that is 2, ठीक है, that is 2 here. It will value print the value of b, that is 3 here. It is again console.log a, that will be 2, 2 will print here. If you print console.b, here your block has ended, huh? Here your block has ended. If you try to b print your console.log b here, that means 3 will not be print here because your block has ended, like block has started here, it will ended here. So b will be undefined here. So let me show you in the in the action. Just a minute, I'm sharing my screen. Let me know once it's visible. Okay. Okay, so what we'll do now, we will do that let a equals to 3, okay. I'll take where b equals to 10, okay, something like this, and I'll take this inside a block, inside this block, okay. Above this block I'll take a where a equals to 70, okay. Okay, I will do console dot log a here, console dot log b here. Similarly, I'll do console dot log and console dot log a and b outside of the block. Let's see how many guys you can answer this properly. What would be the answer of this console dot log a b, and what would be the a b here? What would be the output? No, this would print what, like what ultimately what it get printed. Like I just want to know that. Okay, let's get that everyone is participating at least, okay. That's good to see. Please participate, okay. Let's see what it will print, okay. See, first of all I have printed console.log a here, that means a's value, that means 3, okay. After that I have printed b, that means 10, okay. Now this block has ended, that means this a has expired, this b has expired. You can just access your a here. So console.log a, that means 70 here. This console.log b, 10 here, because where was globally scoped, ठीक है. ठीक है everyone, clear, perfect. Okay, Nana, what I told you that see, I have declared this where a 70 outside of the scope, that means globally. Let a equals to 3, where b equals to 10, ठीक है. If I'll print console.log a here, console.log b here, then it will print let 3, 3's value here, b 10, 10's value here, console.log a, that means this is expired. So that's let a is no more accessible. It will throw error. Okay, it will throw error. That means this would be giving you this block has expired. So now if I'll print console.log a, that means you can access 70. and this console.log b, that means this 10. So how this where b is global? Okay, okay. What we need to understand from this is, suppose for an example, if I'll do function test here, I'll just call, I'll just call this test here. Okay. Now if I'll try to access the value of a here, value of b here, let's see what has changed. Let me just first clear this and let me run this. Okay. Now, what is the mistake? Okay, taste and then have to do this parenthesis. Okay. Let's see what has changed now. Anything has changed? No. Okay. Any clue that you are getting from this? Any clue that you are no getting from this? Same as before, but my question is, suppose I will just take this, I'll do this in the Chrome. Okay. Let me just put it this inside the Chrome. Let's see what's the output. Any clue with this? Why it's working here and why it's not working here? Uh, Let me just refresh this. Okay. Okay, F12. Okay. So B was previously defined. That is why it was not giving me any kind of error. So what I did is, so one of you guys has caught that how this is working. Everyone else was sleeping. Literally, they were sleeping. No, there is not a browser problem. We haven't refreshed our page. So that does mean that if I'll clear this now, if I try to access A, let's say A, okay, so it will give me the value, you know, from previously run code, because we haven't refreshed the code, refresh the page. If I refresh the page, then now I'll try to access the A, then it will show me the error. Okay? So everyone please pay attention, है ना? No, no, Aishwarya, that is not the case. You let me just try to paste this again. Okay? So if I'll just remove this particular thing and then I'll try to do this, what will be the output? What will be the output now? Okay. Likit saying undefined error. Undefined or error? We have seen the difference between not defined and undefined yesterday. Okay. Let's run this. Let me refresh the page. Okay. Let's run this now. Can you see any kind of difference between the function call and this? I'll just now replace with the original call. That was this. Okay. I'll refresh the page. I'll do this. Now in the function, it's not working. Okay. So if you do like this kind of things, see, if you have the entire this scope, then this is just that's the space to write. This is just a space to write. But if you have the function and you have this parenthesis, then this is called as the scope. This will not act as a scope. If you want to see in the action, then just remove this. Okay, remove this call as well. Okay, console.log a, console.log b. This would anyway would not be accessible, because where is, like, let me remove this. Okay, let me remove this for an instance. Yeah, it should work or not. Okay, see, a is working here, in the let. So this scope is anyway it's not working here, right? So this is not a scope, this is just a way to write, like this is just a way to write a like empty space. You can just ignore this as well, like you can just ignore this as well. But I have written that so that you can understand that this is also a way to write. Okay, so you can also write the like the space here like this, you know. You can also like the space write the function scope like this. So if you have used this function, then only this scope will be expired. Now if you run this, now if you run this, uh, refresh, run this, then you can see this b is not defined. Okay, okay, perfect, just is right. Okay, it's written in only in curly braces without a function name. Yeah, so this only the curly braces only there's a blank space, you can also ignore that. Compiler like interpreter will also ignore that. Okay, when the refreshed value it got removed undefined, it's not undefined, it's not defined. Nilanjan, it's undefined. Okay, Joseph, I'm telling you that see, okay, see, I'll explain you by putting debugger. You have not seen this kind of things. I'll put debugger. If you want to put debugger, then just write debugger here. Okay, press enter or like press run. Okay, you will have this kind of screen. Okay, okay. So if you put debugger, you can also debug your code. I am teaching you how to debug your code. Okay, now if you want to move further in your line, then you have to press F10. F10. I'm writing here F10. Press F10. Okay, I'm pressing F10 now. So this function would be this function, like whatever definition you have written, it will not execute. It will only execute after you will call it. So here I have to call my function. So now it will call my function and go. Just a second, I'm running again. Okay, so it is now calling the function. Now check the value of a. Check the value of a is 70 here. Okay, because let's scope is less than where is like superior than let. Okay, let is now superior than where. So if I want to show you, then I'll do one thing. Let's explain, like let me explain you by line. So see, now it's for now just stop commenting. Okay, I'll not able to see. Okay, see, from this line we'll start our execution. You will see, like think about the interpreter or compiler. Now right now think like a compiler that you have to execute your code. So if you see where a, that means you will create a variable called as a in this box. This box is nothing but a memory. You will occupy some memory. Okay, now if you will assign, like you will realize that this is assignment operator. That means whatever right hand side would be assigned to left hand side. Okay, so 70 would be assigned to a, that means you will write 70 here. Cool. Okay, ignore this debugger now. Ignore this function as of now because you haven't called this. Okay, whenever you will call this function, then and then only this code would be executed. That is pretty much clear. That should be clear with you. Okay, so on this line now you will come on this line. You will realize that this is a test. Okay, so if you execute, like you have called this test function, so your execution part would be on this line now, since you have called this function. Okay, so it will call on this line. You will realize that there is again another variable called as a. Okay, this is a global scoped, this is a function scoped. So inside the global execution stack, what is all stack, what is block scope, what is stack, will see, and I'll also show you in the runtime. Okay, but right now I'm executing your code. Okay, line by line, acting as a compiler or interpreter. Okay, so inside this is a function scope, this is a global scope. inside this function scope, you have realized that let a equals to 3. So you will name your variable name as a. You will allocate a box, that is a memory. You will assign a value 3 here. Okay. Again, you have where b equals to 10. You will create a box called as b. Write 10 here. Okay. Now it's asking me to print a. So if you have your function scoped, you don't have to go into global scope. Okay. If you print a here, then it will be printed from the function scoped, because see, a is here also, a is here also, but a would not be printed from here, a would be printed from here because it's function scope. See what is nearby from you inside this function. If you try to access a, what is nearby with you, this a or this a? This a, right? This function a. Okay, that is why it is access, it will access this functions scoped a. That means if you try to print a here, it will print 3 here. If you try to print b here, then console.log b here, it would be print 10 here. No matter if you suppose if you have b variable right now, let's say 50 here, like outside also you have declared a variable way b equals to 50, it will not go here. Since you are inside the scope, inside your function scope, it will not go in the global scope. Am I clear with this? Okay. So if you print a here, it will print 3. It will, if you try to print b here, it will print 10. Okay. Now your this scope is has ended. Okay. Your function body has ended. So your entire this thing would be cleared out. Okay. This would not be accessible to anyone now. Okay. This is not accessible to anyone now. Now your god is this only, global only. So now you can see that console.log a here. So you only have a here as a global thing. So you have 70 only. It will print 70 only. Do you have b variable right now in global scope? Considering this is not a case. Okay, so b is not there right now. So it would print b is not defined. I have explained everything as acting as a compiler. I hope this should be clear with you, everyone. Okay, have you enjoyed? Have you learned? This would be like more, no, this is like fundamental thing that you have to understand. It's like very fun thing. Yeah, first functional scope, then global scope. Okay, so you guys can understand why b is giving me us error here. Okay, you clear with const, you clear with let, you clear with where? Am I clear? 100%. Every time if you have any kind of confusion, try to run your code by your own. Like create a variable, create a variable like this. Okay, try to print through the console and do your job. Okay, so last b is under parenthesis, so b print is not defined, right? Yes, so b is already like always would be under the parenthesis, but since in the global scope we don't have b, that is why it has printed not defined. So suppose man lo ki here where b equals to 50 also I have defined in the above the where a. Okay, so if you try to print b now, then it would be printed 50, it will not print not defined. Okay, 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 I'll come into that, Aishwarya, just a minute. Nilanjan, for you as well, I'll come into that, just a minute, huh? Okay, can we change value of the let? Okay, what do you think, Aishwarya? What do you think? Let's try it now. Let's try it. Every time if you want anything, okay, try to run from your own, it would increase your troubleshooting skill as well. Okay, okay, let us clear that. Let us try to access a as b. Let me write this first, let a equals to 3. Okay, a equals to 4. Okay, I want to update that, and I'm accessing a's value here, so it should be accessible or not. This is what you meant, right, Aishwarya? Okay, let's run that. See, redeclaration of let is not accessible. Okay, let's try to do this. It should run or not, let's check it. Okay, okay, so a, if you write again, write let like this, it will not get accepted, but if you write a like this, it is getting accepted. Am I clear, Aishwarya? Okay, cool. Okay. But in case of const, it is not allowed. In case of const, if you do this, in case of const, it is not allowed. Okay. So try to experiment from your own also. Okay. Then if where is global, then why where b have only scope inside the function? Because see, can you see here inside of test also only we have declared b, not outside of this. If I do where b equals to 20, then I can access b here as 20 like this. Okay. uh, like this. Okay, Subit. Okay, thanks Nana. Parag says undefined means, okay, Parag, I'll explain that just a minute. Then this is the only difference between let and where. This is not the only difference, but this is the major difference. Okay, I will explain step by step what is the exact thing with the where, let, and const. But this is the basic thing that you have to know. If interviewer ask what is the difference between let and where, then you have to know. Okay, from now onwards don't use where anywhere in program that you like. Okay, I also see in my my current organization or anyone else code, I also do code reviews and interviews. They right now also they just declare variables with where. If a's value is not changed in the no in the future, then you have to declare not where, you have to declare const. Okay, that should be clear with you. This is not a question. This is not a question. This is like abcd of the javascript. So this kind of basic things is not been taught with you. Okay, since you are learning, so learn properly. That is why I'm teaching you that you have to write this kind of code in your organization or in your professional career. Clear? Okay, without define let becomes where. Okay, yeah, it becomes where. Okay, now let me explain you about the concept of not defined and undefined. Okay, a lot of you guys have asked me. Okay, Nilanjan says where we can redeclare and redefine let. Okay, yeah, okay, okay. So let me just first tell you, okay, what is undefined and what is not defined. Okay, so if you have seen here, if I'll remove that 10, let me run again, refresh. I'll do that, then b is giving me not defined error. Okay, but see, if you have properly seen my execution of this code, then you might have observed that, okay, this was my code. Okay, so when I said that I am a compiler or interpreter, I'm gonna execute this code. Okay, okay, if I'm gonna execute this first line, I observe that this written as where a. Okay, first I'll only see this where a. Then after I no, if you have observed this, then first I have declared this a box. Okay, then I told you that this is the assignment operator. That means whatever uh, here in right side, that would be assigned into the left side. I told you that. Did I told this? Yes, no, है ना? So I have created a box first, है ना? Then after I have written 70. This is what I did. If everyone have observed carefully, please respond. This is what I did, right? Hello? Yes, no, people, है ना? This is what I did, ना? ठीक है? Okay, ठीक है. So please participate and please give me the answer. Okay. So in that case, I'll create. If I'm executing this first line, then I will create a. Sorry, if I will execute this first line, then first I will create a box. Then I will see what is here in this A. If I am executing this where, that means let me just tell you properly. Na? First, compiler works like this only. If you understand the compiler's mind, you can understand anyone's mind. It's not like that you cannot read any girl's mind. Okay, you can read compiler's mind or interpreter's mind. Okay, so if you just execute in this line, then first observe that this return as where. Okay, so it will create a box of memory. Okay, now you have to name this memory. Okay, so yeah, we will name this as a. Okay, so this box name will be the A. Now you observe that this is a assignment operator. That means whatever that in right side would be assigned to left hand side. That means A would be initialized with the 17. Did I did this by this way or not? Just tell me yes, no. Okay, I did this. है ना? Now for an example, think now that I'll just do, forget about this programmer. Now if I will just do this where A and console.log A. Okay. Now if you are compiler or interpreter just like me, what you will do? What you will do now? Your where, if you see where, then you will create a box. You will see the name of the box, that is means A. Okay. Now you will execute the second line, that means console.log. That means you have to print something. What you have to print something? That means A. What is inside the A? Nothing. Okay. It will print undefined. In this case, suppose in here I have where B. Okay, or else I don't have this where B, I don't have this where B, I have this program only. I am trying to access this console dot log B. Do you have any kind of box such as called B? Do you have any box B? We do have box B. We do have box B with us. No, right? That means it's a case of not defined. That means when this undefined will be there, when we have any box with that name, with the name, okay, we have any box with the name in our go down or in our warehouse, then it will do undefined thing. But if we don't have any box with the B, then it will tell us not defined. Am I clear with this? Am I clear with this? Okay, ठीक है ना? Okay, let's see this. Let's see this. ठीक है? So I'll clear this. I'll do this. So where A equals to 20. Sorry, where A only. ठीक है? Now console dot log A. ठीक है? I'm printing this. Let me refresh the page. I'm running again. See, this is printing undefined. ठीक है? ठीक है? That means it has created a box called as A, and since you don't have anything inside A, that means it has printed undefined. But now if you have this console dot log B, do we have any box called as B with us right now? No, right? No, right? That means B would be not defined. Clear? Clear? Crystal clear or clear? ठीक है? I want everyone of you to be pro in JavaScript. ठीक है? So do this, practice more often. है ना? Compile and run your code from your own. ठीक है? Why it's not defining any garbage value or predefined values? Because we don't have anything inside the box. That is why we have to put something garbage value inside the box, right? Let's not see. That is why. ठीक है? Yeah, thank you Arun. Cool. Okay. Now let's see in the in this particular thing. Okay, so I told about the commands also. Okay, if you have observed my speech carefully, yeah, in Java and other languages there are there, Atish, but in JavaScript there is not there. Okay, okay. So if you observed my speech, then no, previously I told you that inside this program, which was the program, this one, right? So in this one I told you that this is a global variable. I wrote something here and I told you that I will explain in the end of the lecture, at the end of the lecture. Remember, if you have paid attention, then you have remembered this. Okay, so comments, what is comments? What do you mean by comment? Okay, what do you mean by a comment? Comment, that means something which is helpful for others. That means if you have a Facebook profile or LinkedIn profile, you have your profile picture. Okay, you have a profile picture. Many other guys would comment down here. Okay, so if all the comments are good, then you can tell or you can judge that this profile picture is good. Okay, so it's like helping you. The comments are helping you. Okay, it's the same way. If you are writing any code, if you are writing any code such as this, okay, uh, you have written this code. Okay, so I wanted to tell you that this is a global variable. That is why out of my habit I wrote this, that if you want to write a comment, then there are two ways. There are two ways to write a comment. The first one is a single line, second one is a multi-line. Okay, so comments are basically helping for developers. Okay, so right now suppose you are working in your project in your company. Okay, in some specific project you have developed many functionalities in your project. Now you are leaving your organization. Okay, somebody else is taking knowledge from you for that particular thing. There is something called as, in professional career there is something known as KT, that means knowledge transfer. Okay, you will hear this kind of term many times when when you will work. So it's known as KT, that means knowledge transfer. Okay, so in this KT, if that person have written a lot of comments in his code, then it's bit easy for you to understand the code. Okay, always write a code that everyone else will understand. Okay, always give the variable name that everyone else will understand. Always give the function name properly that everyone else would understand by the name of the function only. That here I have given the name of the function, that taste. So you can understand that this is something known as a testing purpose only. It's not the actual function. Okay, the like that way. So this variable a is 70, it's a global function, global variable. So I'll just write single line comment. That means single line comment would be written by just double slash. Write everything you want in this line. This multi-line you have to you can write multi-line comment, such as 2 or 3 lines of comment. Here you have to write in between of this, say like slash and star. Write everything that you want. Then if you want to end, then star and slash again. Okay, between of these two, whatever is written would not be executed by your compiler. That means if I am a compiler, I will execute anything like anything such as like this comment, then I will not execute this line. I'll just keep this, because I will understand that this is written by for developers purpose, not for me. Okay, similarly in this case, so for an example, in this particular case, if I want to write a single line comment, that means this is a global variable. Okay, so see the color of this comment also, this is a gray one. Okay, it will not get executed by compiler. Okay, if I want to explain this function, then I can just write the comment here like slash, then star. Okay, then again star and slash. In between of this you can write anything, like this is my function which is meant for testing purpose. Yeah, so you can write any number of line between of this. So these are the two kind of comments that we will usually write. Okay, so comments are basically used for developers. That is okay. Understood? Yeah, non-executable sentences. Okay, understood now? Okay, so see this. So comments are basically textual information in your code that is ignored by the compiler. Okay, and is used to communicate information about the code. That means for developers purpose. Okay, if you want to communicate anything between us, then you have to write the comment. Okay, commenting your code is good practice. Okay, for others to understand what your code does. So single line comment, that means by this, multi-line comment by this. Okay, okay, cool. Null is a defined value. It doesn't throw undefined, right? We'll see what is different between null and what is null. I haven't explained that till now in today's lecture, although we have explained this in previous lecture, right, Priyanshu? Okay, so see, we'll learn about this null here. Don't worry. Okay, so data types we have seen in the previous lecture, if you have remember. है ना? If you remember, we have seen in the previous lecture about the data types. So we'll not touch upon that. Okay. So see, we'll just no quickly go through it. So there are various kind of data types, such as if you have the no number 10, then this is a numeric data type. We did the type of thing in the previous lecture. Remember, everyone? We spent a lot of time in this, right? Okay, we did the exact thing that is mentioned here. Okay, so yeah, null is a object that I already told in the previous lecture, Priyanshu. If you have observed or look upon the recordings, everyone else remember that? Priyanshu, what about you? Okay, null means empty thing. I told you that, right? Undefined means it's not there, but null is that like there is something there, but it's empty. Okay, okay. So okay, so big int. This is something called as big int, right? So in the int, there is some limitation in that. So if you have some big number that you want to define, that is something you have to put in the big int. But it would be used rarely, very rarely, like 0.00001% possibility would be there that you will use that. Okay. There's another particular data type that I haven't touched upon in the previous class. There's a symbol. Okay. So symbol is a data type that means you will create a particular checkpoint. Okay. In the object, suppose this is your object. This is your object. Suppose okay, this is your object. In the object, you have two keys such as A and A. You will not have this kind of particular scenario. I cannot reproduce that. I cannot reproduce that. But if you have similar kind of things in your particular code, then you can create a checkpoint or symbol over there. Okay. You can also read more about the symbols in JavaScript. Okay, and you can go in this particular link. Okay, so see, it was also introduced by in the ES6. Okay, okay. Now, what do you mean by symbol? That see, two symbols will with the same description. That means if I have symbol hello here, that means it will internally it will produce a default number. Let me just first tell you, we will understand that. Okay, let's say if I have where a equals to symbol, inside that if I have a value called as taste. Same thing if I have with the where b. Okay, okay. I have where b. Screen is stuck. Screen is not shared. Okay, so sorry about it. Okay, okay, okay. I haven't. Can you see this now? Okay, okay. So what I did is, symbol is a particular thing which will you will use in for the checkpoint purpose, or you to just debugging purpose. Okay. So what I did is where a equals to symbol test here, where b equals to symbol test here. Okay. Internally it will generate a number. So if I want to check that a is equals to b, okay, I want to check that like console dot log a is equals to b. I do this and see it's doing me the false value, because see I have created two symbols with the same string, but internally it has generated another like numeric random number. So random number cannot be the same thing. That is why it's giving me the false value. Clear? Okay. So when will you use this symbol? Okay. So uh, you will use the symbol. Just a second. I think so. They haven't covered in this slide, but you can think that you will use the symbol whenever you will have suppose if I want to tell you that you have an object. Okay, in the object you have a key called as name, and name's value is likit. Okay, if I will have another same key with the name likit, then if I want to check that this both are no there in my object or not, it will no, this symbol will not use by any beginners or any intermediate developer. It will use by expert developers, because it's just used for our purpose. It will not have any kind of impact in the actual execution of the code. Okay, that is why symbol is not covered in this slide, but you can also generate this symbol by this avengers, or this string is not necessary, it's optional. Okay, so you can also do like where a is equals to symbol, it will also give you some result. Okay, also if you want to no check the value of this symbol. Okay, so you can check the value of symbol by doing this a dot there are many keys in this a dot description, huh? So see, if you try to no, if you want to access this paste value, then you have to console this a dot description, console dot log a dot description. So symbol will generate a object. Okay, symbol will generate a object. See here it has printed the test value, because I have printed the a dot description. So if you will print a dot description is equals to b dot description. Okay, so it will print true. Okay, so these are, so symbol will generate an object basically. So if you want to check that object, what and all the values inside the object, then see, if you print this a, then it will print symbol test. If you also check the type of a, like this type of a, it will also print symbol. Cool. Okay, what it is used, see, uh, Nana, Likit, I cannot exactly tell you where does it use, but you can just think about it. Let's say if I have an object, I'm not sure you will get it or not. If you can't, don't worry, we'll not gonna use it anywhere. Okay, because it's advanced concept of this. Okay, if you have an object, if you have a similar keys such as like a here, the key would be name, or your key would be like Likit. Okay, anything like this. So if you have some doubt that my object is having same keys twice or not, so you will put symbol here, you will put symbol there as well. You will check that this description and this description is same or not. Okay, this kind of things you can do with the symbol, like it's just like a checkpoint thing. If you want to read more about symbols, then I'll just share one link with you. I think that would help you. Why symbol is uh, see, why do we use symbols in JavaScript? Okay, symbols are often used to add unique property keys. Okay, so I told you, right? So it will add the unique keys. Why? Because it will generate a unique number. Okay, I told you, right? It will generate a unique number. So if you compare this with a equals to b, then it will not get matched, because those both number will be unique. See, this is a false. Okay, so this is what does this mean, you know, and that won't collide with any other key code might get add to any object. So, so this is the thing that I want to explain you. Okay, so what does this mean? That it will add unique properties to the keys of the object that won't collide with keys of any other code. Okay, so if you have some doubt that your object will generate a same key twice, then you can generate keys with this symbol. Okay, so this is the thing why it is used by, because it is generating the unique number, but description is same, so you can access the value with the description, but inside of it JavaScript will be fooled by it, because it is generating a unique number. Okay, which are hidden from any mechanism. Okay, and it enables a form of weak encapsulation and weak form of information hiding. Okay, this is not needed. Don't get confused by this. Okay, so I hope, am I clear with this? Have you got some idea without this, with this? Yeah, it works the somewhat like a primary key, but in case of primary key you will see the exact value of primary key, but in this you cannot. Okay, like to remove duplications exactly. Yeah. Okay, and any like every other data type we have used, like string we have seen, boolean we have seen, null we have seen, undefined we have seen. Big int also I told you that it's a big number which is not covered by integer, that is used in this. Okay, okay, okay. Any kind of no problem with this kind of particular thing that you have? So like if you want to know check with the like how many numbers would be there, then the numbers are always the 64-bit floating point, you know. So what if we declare big numbers in int? You can declare. Okay, in int you want to declare big number such as like this also. Okay, so it will throw, I think so it will throw error. Let's check it. Okay, so where a equals to okay, so I'll just write big number. Okay, so like this. Okay, and let's say console dot log a. This is what you meant, you know, lick it. Oh, I haven't shared. Sorry. Sorry, huh, guys. Am I? Can you see my screen? This is what you meant. Lick it. Okay. Okay. Let's clear this. Let's run this. So it will generate a exponential number. Okay. Okay, I got it. So it will generate a exponential number. But if you don't want to generate any exponential number, then you have to use begin. Inside this, you have to mention your number. Yeah, it will do like this. Okay, but if you want to get the exact exponential thing, then there is also one kind of method is here. I'm not sure they have mentioned here or not. Yeah, this kind of things. Dot to exponential. Okay, you can also use this. So it will round off the things and it will do the exponential thing in your code. Okay, but don't worry, the number in the number usually we just use this where, and begin also like it's not preferable to use anyway. And yeah, also we have learned about this infinity, negative infinity. Ever remember in the previous class? Okay, we also learned about the nan. This is the nan. We also learned about the nan. The nan is nan's full form is, nan's full form is, please write, not a number. Correct. Good. Lick it, Nilanjan. That's great. Okay, Jess, that's great, Nana. Navneet. Great. Okay. Okay, and boolean that means how many values will boolean will have? Two only, that means true or false, that means 0 or 1. Okay, binary, that is also called as binary. Everyone is correct. Cool. Okay, now the difference between null and undefined also we have looked upon. See here, they have given the where a equals to null, that means they will create like so. See, if you have encounter where, then you have to create a box. You can name it a. Inside this you have to put the null, that means empty value. Okay, empty or null. But if you just do where b, that means you will create the empty box, name it b, that is it. It's undefined, it's null. Clear? Cool, that's simple as that. Okay na? Great. Second was the string is pretty much clear with us, we don't have to touch upon it, you know. Operators also we have looked upon. So see, this kind of operators, increment and decrement, also we have looked upon. Today I will go in depth. You remember previously I told you that I just have to explain, like I just explained a plus plus and a minus minus only. Today we'll also look at a plus plus and minus minus a. We'll not no, if it's possible then only we'll cover today, otherwise we'll move it in another lecture. Okay, I'll not move fast. Yeah, I'll not move fast. Okay, don't worry. Okay, I'll not move fast. Cool. We will have two different keys for same value by symbol. Yes, you will have two different keys, it will generate two different keys. Okay, so is that okay with you all, that I'll not jump around the no the concept, rather than just focusing on the concept? Okay, I'll just focus on the main concept, and we'll go at most depth. If it's possible, like if you want me to put like another lecture, another extra lecture for this cover up entire thing, I'll do that in weekends, है ना? ठीक है. great. ठीक है. Okay, so apart from this increment and decrement, I think we are clear with this all. Like difference between equals to and triple equals to also we have seen. Okay, it will just check the values and not the type. It will check values as well as the type. ठीक है ना? We have seen that. So this is like double equals to, triple equals to, similarly like not equals to and not triple, like not double equals to. That means it will check only the value. It will check the value and type also. Okay. Yeah, I'll discuss that. I'll discuss it, Arun. I'll discuss in next lecture because today's time up. ठीक है. Apart from this, everything we have looked upon. ठीक है. Arithmetic operator, plus, minus, multiplication, division, less than, greater than, less than equals to, greater than equals to, plus equals to. Also we have seen like a plus equals to 1. That means a equals to a plus 1. ठीक है. Equals to also we have seen. ठीक है. Similarly, if it's plus, then multiply equals to 1 also there. Division by equals to 1 also there. Yes, it will check both type and value. Okay. Unary operator will cover in next lecture because today it's not possible. Okay, it's only 4 minutes left. Okay. Okay. So we'll do one thing. We'll just stop today's lecture from here. I don't want to jump around. Okay, na? Irrespective of what, like we have covered less topics, but we have understood well. I hope so. Okay. So right now I'm teaching you how to debug your code manually, like from you as a compiler or as an interpreter. But in future, I'll explain you how to like how to debug your code in browser, so that you can actually see the values inside your browser. Okay, that would be fine with you, right? Okay, awesome, cool. Okay, na guys? Yeah, welcome, sir. Is there any option to take the class at 8 p.m. on Saturday? As we every Saturday, I haven't. Okay. So, Nilanjan, please connect with the no student advisor for that, because I'm not the one who can take this decision. Whichever time you all have comfortable, I will be present at that time. Okay, sir. Clear session for me non IT. Oh, that's great. That's Arun. That's really awesome comment. Huh? I am really admired. I feel honored. That's great. Thank you. Okay, so I'm creating a final poll for today. If you liked it, if you have enjoyed it, if you don't have any doubt, then please click on true, otherwise click on false. ठीक है. Cool. Hard, Rishit, is it was hard for you? I'm not sure, sir. About assignments, what we have to do? You have to just complete the assignments. Shri Harsha, if you have any doubt, then connect with the TA. ठीक है. And Ritesh, can you please tell me what do you mean by hard? Like, have you understand that? Some good and some hard. Okay, so I'll tell you, Manoj and Ritesh, for you guys, please watch. Oh, Ritesh, very easy. So you are tricked me. Okay, so for everyone that feel this is hard, this is not hard. It's just that you have to be understand it properly. Otherwise, you can just watch the recordings again, because I have touched in very detail. Like, I have touched at very much at depth, because at some point of time there were some scenarios where I have explained topics 4 or 5 times also. Okay, so you will understand everything. Don't worry. Okay, Nikhil, please check dashboard. Likit is saying you will find your assignments there. Assignments say we need to submit link of our code. How we do that? You can submit the links of your assignment. For more information, please can you please connect with the TA or teaching your student advisor, because they will know more than me about this, because I don't know what kind of no you I'm not the part of your Slack group also. In assignment, it is told to write calculator code in JavaScript, and we have not reached that level. Okay, okay, I'll see that. I'll say that, Nilanjan. Don't worry. Okay. So, Sunil, quiz you have to do you at your own, like from your own. What questions will come? So in quiz, I think so whatever we have covered in the lecture, from that only it will be there. 14 days are there to submit. Yeah, correct. Today's it's a doubt session clear about assignment. Today's in doubt session. Okay. Yeah, in doubt session I can take the no assignments doubt. Okay. 16th is a deadline, so we can learn more. Yeah, like it, you can. Okay. For any other information, you can connect with student advisor regarding this. What arithmetic operation should be covered in the calculator, like plus, minus, multiplication, division? That is like simple thing. You can do that. You can cover that. ठीक है अर्पित. ठीक है. On that note, yeah, bye, good night. When where I can connect with student advisor, he will be there in Slack. Yeah, good night guys. ठीक है. Yeah, welcome Deepa. So we'll meet again day after tomorrow. ठीक है. Like watch again today's lecture and be prepared. ठीक है ना. Yeah, happy Ramzan. Hare Ram. ठीक है. Goodbye. Thank you Harsha. That's nice. ठीक है. Bye. Tomorrow there is no class. Yeah, Likhit, there is no class for tomorrow. I guess there is class on Wednesday only, है ना. ठीक है. Yeah, happy Akshaya Tritiya in advance. Happy 8th. Yes. ठीक है. All right. Good night and have a great day. Great night. ठीक है. Bye. Thank you.